Hello, welcome to a video commentary. I'm going to start doing these from now on. I got a few suggestions to commentate over a Savage Time of Justice League Savage Time, and Justice League Unlimited, the episode Alive. So, Savage Time is a 3-part episode. I'm just going to just commentate on one episode on the first part. I might do the other 2 parts if I feel like it, but I'm just going to do one part. So, if that changes, I'll probably upload a video sometime if I change my mind. But right now, just expect one episode or just me commenting over one episode. So let's get started. So I just finished seeing the Warner Brothers logo, and now we're seeing Green Lantern pulling in the ship. Oh, what the fuck? I turned on subtitles, I thought. Okay. So yeah, I didn't really like this episode. I will say I always thought it was kind of corny. I mean, I saw all 3 episodes, all 3 parts, but it was very dull. It was just not a very interesting episode. I didn't really like the villain. If I understand correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Savage was a character that is somewhat immortal, I guess, because he used to be a caveman, and a comet came in and kind of gave him this ability to be immortal or something like that. And I thought that was okay. It was a little goofy, but it's fine. I know he was in, I think, Justice League Doom, and that was fine. That was a fine adaptation of him or interpretation of him. This is fine. He just kind of felt like Lex Luthor to me, and this story just kept getting weirder and weirder in these 3 episodes. Like, they had a frozen Hitler, and that to me, in this episode of Justice League, they had an episode where they had frozen Hitler, and I was like, I don't really see the logic with that. I mean, I don't mean not logic, but it was just weird. It was just like, what? But whatever. I picked this episode because there is only one thing I really liked. I like the first part of it where you're in like the alternate reality of modern day or something where Savage rules this timeline or something like that. It was really cool. I liked it. It's kind of what they did it with an Injustice with Superman, but with Savage instead. But at the same time, I feel like that it was a little too heavy-handed. Like, I'm going to use The Legend of Korra as a comparison with this. The Legend of Korra, book 4, they had this dictator-type villain. And honestly, you did kind of feel for that side. You were like, wow, yeah, this person has really good motivation, and you can sympathize with the villain and the ideals and all that, but she became a dictator with all that power. And these 3 episodes of Savage, it was just, get power, dude. Come on, you want to rule the world? Here you go, rule the world. And it's just like, they I mean, I think it was just kind of talked about a little bit when it came with when they were talking to Savage, but it's not as interesting as the Legend of Korra with Kuvira, to be honest. And I've noticed, like, I liked watching Justice League Unlimited because the animation looked really good, but the animation here is kind of weird. Like, I've noticed, like, with Superman, especially, like, he has so many lines and detail. When you look at, like, Superman in Unlimited, they kind of streamlined his design. I mean, they kind of started that with like the later episodes of Justice League, like near the end or so. But like here, you have more like a defined cheekbones and all that, which is fine. I actually kind of like that. It has a little more weight, or it makes it a little more dynamic. Now there was episodes of Disney that I really liked that were like kind of like Twilight Zone episodes that I really liked doing. I might even do a commentary on one of those episodes, but this episode isn't really that time Twilight Zone-y that I like so much or interesting. It just kind of is very honestly, it's a black and white kind of story. It's like these are the bad guys, we are the good guys. The end. I don't know. That's how I feel about it. Now, Batman's design. Now, I'm gonna tell you something about Batman's design. Let me just say, I like Batman's design in Justice League Unlimited and Justice League and all that. Bruce Timm, he can, he has a great sense of detail and a great sense of style and design, etc. What was he thinking with Batman here? I mean, it's like they removed everything that made him cool. Like, they got rid of the eyes. Okay, that's more scary. Like, I mean, you can argue that, oh well, it's like a bat because they're blind, and it's like that's fine. But he's also a man as well, and that's kind of the design of Batman. It's like he's half man, half bat to the criminals, etc. Like that, but it looks so dumb. Like, it just, I don't know. I really hated it, and the fucking bat ears. Sorry if I'm swearing and you people don't want swears. I'm sorry. I'll try to keep it tame, but his ears look so dumb. Like, look at that. Like, look at it. Look at it. When if you're not watching the episode, just Google it or something. Savage Time Batman or something. It is the dumbest bat ears I've seen. It's like he just, why? Like, his henchmen have better designs than him. And that says something right there. The henchmen look better than the leader. Incredible. I don't know if I would use that word. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's... And man, I don't like Green Lantern's design in this either. That's the other thing about these 3-part episodes. They made Green Lantern so hokey and corny. It's like kind of unbearable. It's like, I am a soldier. I was a Marine. I'm, this and that. That's just my phone telling me it's uncharged. Very professional, I know. But it's like, okay, we get it. And they just kept it was very corny. These 3 episodes were really corny, and that's kind of what turned me off. It was just nothing interesting or dark. I mean, there's a lot of episodes in Justice League, not a lot, but there was a good amount that were dark and interesting, and just like, whoa. This episode, not so much. Like, I kind of wish they did more stuff in the present time, but... Okay, I just kind of wish it was, I don't know. And the other thing is, this is looking ahead. No, never mind. I was thinking about it. I was going to complain about it, because I remember Savage giving Savage in World War II a laptop, and I was like, how did he give him a laptop? But then I'm looking at this, I was like, oh, that's probably why. Like, this is the problem with time travel episodes. There's a lot of issues with it, where you can kind of see the holes. But you can also argue that, he probably made a time machine in the Prime timeline, and that's what, started this whole thing. So I guess that makes sense. but it's just that's a fundamental flaw with episodes that deal with time. It's just like you can't really tell a very coherent story because it's very prone to plot holes. That's the problem with time episodes. That's what I'm trying. That's the word I'm thinking of. It creates a lot of plot holes, and only some stories and episodes and shows and movies can kind of get away with it and kind of work with it. And then there's some that are just kind of like this is bad. But I don't think we're gonna see it with this. Okay, that's a good line. I think it'll make me happier. I like that. I like that line, but at the same time, it's kind of the same version of him, except he doesn't like guns. Oh man! Alright, I gotta edit that. Hopefully, I do some editing in this video. Editing is always a pain for me, but I might do it in this episode. So, now I do like the kind of the art style that when they did that in World War II, and they went back to World War II, the style and the look of it really works. I mean, they didn't really change the style, but like the style that they have kind of works for it. Works for its advantage, I should say. I don't know if that's how fast a gun would shoot. I mean, I'm pretty sure you would have to reload it pretty soon. But I might be nitpicking. I don't know the weapons back then. I'm not gonna complain about that. You can ignore that. Oh, and there were some other like corny lines from in like the later two parts or so. Now this monstrosity of a weapon is really stupid. I hate whoever designed that should really rethink that design. Like, really? I mean, I guess it's to trample tanks efficiently, but I would have made it better, or maybe like make it like a tank, but it has like more armor on it or something, like just having like a circle is just kind of dumb. It looks like something from a it looks like that they were planning on making a toy of it and selling it. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. It looks like that they made it and they're like, we're gonna sell toys with this, and that's what they were going for. But the corny lines that I have an issue with when it comes to what's it called? There's a scene where like Hawkgirl was treating some of the wounded, and Flash was like, "Oh, you didn't care about Green Lantern? How could you?" And then like she was like, "Look at this! Look at all the people here that are hurt." It just felt so. What's the word? I mean, I guess it's corny. I mean, I guess that's the word I'm looking for. But it's just like, really. Like, Flash is a hero, and he didn't figure that out, like, oh, we should care about other people than ourselves. I don't know, like, I didn't really like that. This looks kind of funny. Just all these superheroes just pushing it aside. It's like, oh, okay. I don't know. No one stops to talk to them. Oh, there's bugs here. Sorry, I'm just like kind of watching this. I know this isn't really entertaining. I might edit some of the stuff out, maybe. I don't know. I always liked the relationship between Wonder Woman and Batman. I hate using this word, but I ship those two characters personally. I don't like what DC is doing, where it's like, oh, Superman and Wonder Woman are an item, and they are in a relationship. That to me is the easiest pairing. Like, it's so easy to do that to me, in my opinion. It's like, these are both superpowered characters. It's like, oh yeah, you're giving. It's like, okay. I don't know, like it works, but I just don't like it. I like Batman and Wonder Woman. That to me was always more interesting. A little Star Wars over here with that. So doing the force grab, he just tasers everyone. This guy, this blonde-haired guy, I liked him. I like him as a character, but I think they really made it weird. Like, they kind of pursued this romance between him and Wonder Woman. They kind of developed it, and then at the end, she sees him again as an old man, and it's like, what? That's really weird to develop this relationship. And to develop this relationship, and then, you know, they'd be like, oh, well, you're back in your time and you're an old man. It's like, okay. I mean, it's sweet, sure, but I don't know. I thought it was weird that it kind of had this romantic beat. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say that's its intention, but that's what it felt like. But I like the design, though. It looks really cool. It looks like that typical kind of World War II spy type person. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Now, I remember I had a video talking about Justice League and Young Justice, and one of the comments I read said that the animation in Justice League was a little bit weird and wonky at times, and I will be honest. For a while, I was like, yeah, well, you know, it's going for a style, and you know, I was really lenient about it. I was like, yeah, you know, it could be weird at times, but at least it's, you know, enjoyable to an extent. I'm watching this episode, and some of the stuff looks weird. Like, it doesn't have a lot of the weight that it should feel. Like, you know, like there was a scene earlier, I can't believe I didn't mention this, where they were in the present time, and they were, like, taking in the savage takeover type style, and then you have these soldiers that are, like, running towards them, and just that run cycle was weird. But, I feel like Justice League Unlimited had a better, you know, it was a huge improvement. I didn't see as much wonkiness as they do in this series. This series has a little weird kind of animation stuff, but it's also, you know, around the time where animation was just kind of, you know, it was slowly starting to make itself be taken more seriously. I don't know how to explain it, but that's how I kind of felt like it was. Because there wasn't a lot of cartoons on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, whatever network that, you know, had this, you know, that wasn't taken seriously. It was just kind of like, oh, well, it's a cartoon. And you know, around the time where they had, like, Last Airbender, and I think Justice League Unlimited also kind of ran in that kind of era. And people were, and, you know, it was, you know, networks started taking the animation a little more seriously and gave them a little bit more of a budget, because I don't think they gave him enough budget to give him, like, fluid animation, but it wasn't ever enough to be, you know, fully detailed. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm not an animation expert. I know a little bit of animation. I know it takes a lot of work, and I know it's expensive. It's, but, you know, it's, whatever. Oh, and here we see Frozen Hitler. The weirdest plot point in the entire 3 parts of this episode. Like, they didn't... Because here's the thing. They could have kept fascinating. That's the reaction you have to Frozen Hitler. Fascinating. Okay. Alright. they, Savage could have sided with the Allies, won the war, took the glory for himself, and worked that into his own ploy. Like he could have worked it to his advantage, because helping the Nazis is like, yeah, that's pretty bad. Why are you all? It's weird. It's like, and it's also kind of the issue I have with these kind of stories. That's like, well, I mean, not that Nazis should be treated better or something. It's not really that. It's just like, you're making your villain obviously evil by making him side with the Nazis. That's all I'm saying, is that I don't think it makes Savage an interesting character, because you're making him side with the Nazis. Like, because he retooled the Nazis to his own kind of vision, and they play under him now. It's like, if he fought with the Allies and kind of took power through that, it would have been interesting. It would have been like, whoa, this guy did this, but and you didn't even have to have just the exciting with the Nazis to stop him either. You could have showed him as a fraud, and then having these people, I don't know, like, it could have been more interesting. It could have been more creative and unique than just oh, he sides with the bad guys. It's like, okay, I mean, it's just you might as well put a big bullseye on the enemy and saying, hate him, he is a bad guy. I don't know. That's my opinion. It could be pretty dumb. I don't know. Take it as you will. That's it for this commentary. Thanks for watching.